Welcome back to another edition of Hot Topics, everyone. Yours truly, LB. Give me 1 second, everyone. Glad to have you back here at Roundtable, Urban Voice Media, Hot Topics, if you will. Bear with me 1 second. We have some audio difficulty, and I'm not understanding why. Ladies and gentlemen, about the immigration crisis we have here in America. I have a co-host with me by the name of Joy Music. She'll be here momentarily to sit and talk with us in reference to the crisis we have in America. For those of us who do not feel there's a crisis, you have been highly mistaken. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please buckle up, pay attention. I hope you gather something from this podcast. The American crisis. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. What you think about that, Joy?
I think it's definitely a crisis. Definitely a crisis.
When the producers brought this to me, I was hand over heels because of most people want to think that the crisis is geared. People want to talk about it now because of the election. And when I went in and started doing some research on it, Joy, I found that this crisis has really, really been serious for a number of years. And it goes back as far as 1990. And it's hard to believe that people want to think that it's all about an election when we hear it year after year, but we really don't want to pay it no attention. And we see it, at one point in time, if you go back and you think the early 2000s, they say that, the South America is coming to America to take the jobs that America won't work. Well, over the last several years, you've seen more and more Americans doing those jobs that they say that, we wouldn't do, such as work on the streets, paving the streets, doing construction. I've actually seen more and more lumberjacks cutting down trees who look like Americans versus South Americans than before. What you say?
That's awesome. I think there's a lot of Americans that seeing what happened with the whole pandemic thing and want to get out from having to rely on society, having to rely on the government, having to rely on and having to just work constantly to pay bills, work constantly, be at a home you're never at. People are looking for a simpler way of life and trying to get out from under that, I think. Yeah.
When I started looking at the information in reference to the crisis, Joy, it one thing in particular that got me was how they're sending the people who are crossing the border from the south to the north to live. And that was a little confusing as to why they're doing that, especially at a time period now when it's so very cold and so many children going up there in the cold. So that was kind of bothersome to me. So that really what geared me also to want to sit and talk about this topic. But let's look at a video clipping of one place. I think it was this right here is the mayor there in Chicago, in the Chicago area. They're talking in reference to the things they wanted to do. And that was really going on the topic of this, not so much as the federal government, but the local state governments are wanting and willing to
Right.
pay individuals like you and me, Joy, to house these immigrants. Check this out right here.
Have arrived here in Chicago, and tonight there's no indication that the number of new arrivals is likely to slow anytime soon. Today, Mayor Johnson held an impromptu meeting of suburban leaders to outline a new plan of attack. A change in strategy from Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson for dealing with the steady arrival of migrants into the city. A closed-door meeting held today between his office and 24 suburban leaders, including Burr Ridge Mayor Gary Grasso.
He's looking for increased spending and increased money and support for shelters and services so he can better house the migrants in and within Chicago.
Part of Johnson's plan includes more reliance on state and federal resources. No new shelter beds will be provided. Instead, beds will be filled as migrants exit, which will put more pressure on asylum seekers to find permanent housing faster.
They
provided help to migrants who got here.
Joy, I'm going to stop right there. They said as the immigrants, the beds are available as immigrants are leaving, providing they are finding housing. Without jobs, how are they finding housing? How do you find housing without jobs? We can't. You're on mute, Joy. Joy, you're on mute. You're still on mute. There you go.
They're housing. They're paying to house them with our money. We're paying for all this. The government's not going to pay for it. Those people are going to take a cut in their salary. No, they take our tax money to do everything, right? We give, so it's like we're funding all of this stuff. That's what's really infuriating about it.
And those are the hidden
funding things
secrets
we don't want to.
For me, those are the hidden secrets that I see that the local governments are doing. They have their signs and billboards out to vote for them, but they don't put the signs and billboards out saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing with your state money and your federal money that comes to the state." They're not telling us that. They're just taking our dollars, and now it's to the point where they can't handle it. Now they letting us know what they're doing.
Exactly.
They're
not even trying to hide things.
How can we fix that?
Stop paying our taxes. That's my solution. But all of us have to do it, or they're going to take all of our stuff. But they can't do it. We all have to do it. Come on, be honest. Who wants to pay that? Nobody. Now, I agree, if taxes are being used to fix our and to help us and to us resources, pregnancy centers or that help battered women get away from their abuser, all those things are overrun by these people now so that our people don't longer have the resources. That is what's scary about this, is going to continue to happen as you let more and more and more people in, and doing this for years. So when does it end? And what's going to happen eventually? Did you see the kid too? That was, I don't know, a couple years ago, where I don't know how many thousands of people all just walking in. Did you see? I don't know.
Actually,
I should have information, but it just popped up in my head.
I have documentation as to how many people so far they're stating. It's as of today. That was yesterday. 1,300,800 asylum seekers. On that list.
From when? Oh, sorry.
That was this year. That was for the 2023. Now on that list, you had 356,252 were from Syria, Ukraine, and Afghanistan. The rest was from South America. None was from Haiti.
I'm all about people out, if they I'm all about helping people out, but it's like, when do we, how long do we have to help to where we exhaust our own resources? Because if we can no longer help ourselves, we're not in a position to help anyone else. And so if this continues, like I said, that's why
Well,
people are moving to the country, because they know they're going to have to learn how to grow their own food, grow their own livestock, kill their own meat if they want to eat meat, learn how to forage, whatever you got to do to survive. Like, that's what a lot of people are thinking about. And that's why a lot of people, why you see so many people moving to places like this, because, you know, it's just, people are realizing, like, we need to stop relying on them for everything. And we need to start being, try to learn these useful skills that are going to keep you alive in case of a disaster, which I feel like a lot of us are thinking about and feeling like coming, which is a whole other conversation, LB. But
let's
what you
finish
got?
the video here. Check this out.
Filled
Yeah,
as
yeah.
migrants exit, which will put more pressure on asylum seekers to find permanent housing faster.
They provided help to migrants who got here in October or earlier by assisting them with housing for 3 months. After that time, they are on their own. For people who came to Chicago after October, they aren't providing the same help.
Complicating the migrant issue, the arrival of extreme winter weather. Tonight's forecast calling for a
Now, see, that right there is what I was talking about, Joy. They're sending these people up north, and look at those conditions.
Mm-hmm. It's not good.
That's
And
not
you're gonna
hearsay.
house them for 3 months, and then after that 3 months, they're on their own. They don't have a job. They probably don't even speak English. So how are you gonna even get a job? And
Exactly, because the guy that just spoke, I mean, he was speaking Spanish, and he needed an interpreter to tell what he was saying. And
how
this
is
is
this
actual
helping
footage.
them?
They're outside in the
Exactly.
snow.
How is this helping them, Biden administration? I don't get it.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, how is this helping them? They come here looking for a better life, but it's like, they probably look at our lives and want our lives, like, however, but it's like, in order to have that life, you have to come here as a citizen, and be a citizen, and be able to
And
work and live. And
that
I know they come here on visas all the time.
well, that's one thing they're fighting for, and they have like a specific time period to actually apply for citizenship. And if they don't, then they will be extradited back to South America. But they're giving them that opportunity to actually come here to be American citizens, but they got to go through the channels to actually
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's one reason why a lot of the southern states who are hardcore Republican, they're saying, "Hey, we're not willing to do that." But my problem is they're coming through your states. What have you done as a state to secure your border without the federal government? So we can't just rely all on the federal government to do these things. What are you doing
For
as a
anything.
state to stop some of this?
Yes.
And that goes back to this guy. Let's see, where is he? This guy right here. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna find this dude. Who is
Where's the money coming from? What I want to know, like, literally, where the money that you're going to pay these people $125 a day, is that like per person? So you could just, own a home and like rent it out to them and make, $6,000 a month and go live wherever you want. Like, you know what I mean? It's just,
well?
it's mind blowing to even think about that. But like, because people will jump on that, bro, because they don't have to do anything but let people live in their house and go live wherever they want. Some people might do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
especially if you're struggling and you need help with your rent.
We're
Why
all
wouldn't you?
struggling.
Why wouldn't you?
We're all struggling. Yes, that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
yeah. I mean, you and you never know. I mean, depend on now. My thing on this is that this right here, you buy into that, you sign up for that, and you
And you
have
can't get them to leave. Now they have rights.
that, and you don't know what you're getting. Also, what type of
They could
people
be
you're getting.
cartel living in your house.
Hmm. That's a catch-22. But
Bro.
America, remember when this guy right here, remember when he sent people. Now, this right here goes back to 2022. This was September the 16th, 2022, when he said he didn't want them there in Florida. And he started shipping people up
Sent them
north,
to
and he
Martha's
said,
Vineyard.
yeah, in Massachusetts. So my thing is that right there was the go-to. That right there started a lot of this shipping people up north. And you may say, well, LB,
Yeah.
what difference does it make where they go? It does make a big difference as to where they go. Because once again, as we've seen, these people, as you've seen the intro, these people have children. And my heart ain't filled with hatred. It ain't
Me
filled.
either.
It has no hatred in it.
I love
Period.
all of them. I
So
just
when I
want that.
see,
I mean, but this isn't helping them and it's not helping us. It's just
mm,
creating a disaster
mm,
for both sides. Not just
by no
our
means,
side, but theirs too.
mhm, by no means. Now, Joy, this guy right here, he really really gets me. This guy I'm getting ready to put up on the screen. He really gets me. Listen very closely as to what he says in reference to America helping out. He's a trip. He really is.
Go
Oh
down
yeah,
the
he
road
is.
of, doing what, following suit on some of these other cities are taking action on. My idea would be let's find out. Let's find out who's willing to help. So we do hear from constituents on both sides of this. What are we going to do to preemptively stop this? And then we hear from people that tell us we should do more. So, we do have a very affluent community, a lot of big homes, and what I'd like to do is direct staff to.
Did you see what he just said? He says we have a pretty big influential community
Affluent.
with big homes. Who are you talking about? The rich and elite? He
Right?
said
You think
big
they're gonna
homes.
open up their house?
I don't think so, Buster. That's not going to happen, man.
That's all
That's
what
not
happened
going
at
to
Martha's
happen.
Vineyard. And let me think about it. No, it's not gonna be my house. I could barely house my own family. Not
The,
that I wouldn't help people, because I would. If I had room, and I mean, even if you did have to help someone temporarily, the problem with that is, once someone lives in your home, they have rights. So you can't just let people come in your home. I watched this thing one time. This lady she rented her house out like an Airbnb, right? And she gets back, right? And the lady who is renting her house refuses to leave. And there's nothing she can do about it. Like when somebody gets mail at your house, they like have rights and you have to legally evict them from your house. So here's what she does. Cause she's eating my food. She doesn't work. Like smoking in her house. She wasn't a smoker. Like for like straight just disrespect. So she said when she was gone, she said I took all the furniture, all the food, everything out of the house and put it in
hmm,
storage. But think
wow.
about that. Think about a whole family being in your house that you decided to help. I would
Exactly.
love to have a family unit that helps, but like you can't just trust any person off the street to come live in your house. I would never let anyone, even if I knew someone for years, you're not living in my house. Like,
And see, for us, Joy, we've been here our entire life. And we have, from a baby till the age we are, have learned how to live and do. They haven't lived here. That's like us going to South America. We would have to adjust and learn how to live there.
big
So we can't take
adjustment.
American values down there. We can't do it.
Mm-mm.
This guy right here, he tickled me though. He really did.
I
I
know,
like,
me
dude.
too. When I saw that, I think I might have even like I might even reposted that. 'Cause, yeah, I did repost it, and I was like, "Let me think about it." No, and then I said it again. Let me think about it. No,
But the
not
part that got
happening.
me, has he no, he hadn't talked about the sign up sheet yet. All right, let's get to
Oh
that
yeah,
sign up sheet when he talks about that. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
To create a sign-up sheet. So, for individuals that would be willing to house migrant families. And if there's people that would do that, God bless them. Of.
Joy.
yeah. God bless them. For sure.
You had said it to me earlier. Did he do it?
That's what I'm saying. I want to know if his name's on that list because I highly doubt it.
Had he said he would have me, had he said, I have done it with some of my rental properties.
Right.
I brought them into my home. He didn't say that.
If I had rental properties, I'd do it. But they're going to have to earn their way. They're going to have to work for it somehow. They're not just going to live there free.
And
You
see,
know?
Joy, he hasn't told whether he's a Republican or a Democrat. He just spoke as a politician.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the things that I would love for Americans to wisen up on. Listen to these people, and they'll tell it on themselves as to who they are and what they're
Yep.
truly about.
Yep.
He did not state, I'm doing it. It works. So why would I do it, assuming that it's going to be okay, and you haven't tried it, and you're the one who's suggesting it?
There's so many issues with that. As crazy as this world is, our homes is like our only safe place.
Mm-hmm.
And to just invite people off the street that you don't know, haven't been vetted into this country, anything else, is just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let them live with you in your house. Like they couldn't even have 10 of them on Martha's Vineyard.
Or better yet, Joy.
It reminds me of when Oprah came on and asked all of us for donations to help the people in Maui. You remember that? Her and Rock. Remember that little
Yeah,
video?
yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah,
what,
that
not too long
video.
ago. Right. Imagine, Joy, you say, hey, L, me and my family on hard times, and you and your husband need, I got an extra room, and you and your husband need to come over for a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not accustomed to how you raise your children, handle your children, feed your
Right.
children. And you right here from America. Now, it's 10, 20 to 100 times different with someone from another country coming to stay with
Totally
you.
different food, totally different everything.
Mm-hmm. Hygiene, how they handle that.
Yep.
Do you wash your dish or do you sweep the floor? You don't? Okay. Okay. Let's finish this dude out here.
So if we could raise awareness in that way, I think we need to find out. I think we need to find out who would be willing to house migrant families.
He already knows.
I'm gonna go back for a second. His body movement is just ugly to me.
Uh-huh.
God bless them. So if we could raise awareness in that way, I think we need to find out. I think we need to find out who would be willing to house migrant families.
His body movement put me in mind of someone who's struggling on the fence with we're in a crisis. Our boat money, our vacation money is going to get dried up if we don't get people to help us.
Right. Yeah. Because our tax money's probably gone. So now they're starting to dip into their own stuff. It's starting to, I feel like evil is being exposed at an unprecedented level, like no other time in history right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's being exposed, but nothing's being done about it. Well, it doesn't seem like anything's being done about it, but I always like to say the analogy, like these people, these elite, these people who are literally against us as the American people, God's people specifically. They think they can hide in the shadows, but they forget how shadows and light work, because you could be in a completely dark room and all I got to do is flip a switch and every single corner of that room is illuminated. And I feel like that's what's kind of happening right now in our society. And hopefully it will cause sort of what we like to call a great awakening. And I feel like that's kind of what your podcast is kind of about. Like, wake up, people, look around,
Mm-hmm.
because we need to prepare and we need to stand together and unite as Americans against whatever's coming, because it's already, tyranny is happening. They're trying to sort of sweep it under the rug. It's been slowly happening over years, but now it's just like, it's not even trying to hide anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to stand together. And that's why I love places like this where we could come as Americans and talk about the issues that we're facing. because when it's all said and done, if like a possible EMP or something like that happen, LB, we are going to have to come out of our houses and start working together in order to survive, just to survive, you know. Or God could just go and change everything and start all over another 1,000 years. We don't really know. I was talking to my husband about that this morning. Like, when you think about all this craziness that's going on around us, because we're just touching on a couple topics, but there's so many things we could talk about right now. Let's be honest. So much going on. That's all kind of negative, really. But it's like when you have faith in Christ, it's like he says, don't even be afraid when the mountains crumble into the sea. So I refuse to be afraid of what's coming. I just feel like we feel like something's coming and we need to prepare. So, yeah. You can
You know,
only prep so much, though, and the government can possibly come take that from you as well. And with the
you,
technology they have, even if you hide, they have infrared technology that could find you, you know? So we'll see what happens. I think it's an exciting time to live in, to be honest, because we were made for such a time as this.
Joey, we had spoken reference to why the immigrants, asylum seekers, migrants, whatever you want to call them. It's funny they
Illegal
have three.
aliens.
Yeah, I'll get ready to say it's funny they had three different names. I forgot that name. The illegal.
That's
Now
what they stopped saying. They get mad when you say that, but that's what they are.
we
They're
we
not aliens,
question.
though.
We wonder why we have them going to the north. Now, what
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to show is this right here is from fairus.org. And what it is the Federation for American Immigration Reform. And as you see the ticker is showing, it says 3,566 illegal border crossings today. Now, 57. As you scroll down, it says, do you live in one of the 11 sanctuary states or District of Columbia? Do you live in one of the 11? Because if you live in one of the 11, guess what? Your town, your city, your county, your state, and other jurisdictions that restrict most forms of the cooperation with federal immigration authorities. So chances are your state, if you live in one of the 11, they don't have to deal with the immigration problem if they choose not to. Well, you ask, what are those 11 states? Here we go. California. Really? California? Really? California? How is that? Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois. We just talked about Chicago and the problem with them people up there in the snow. Massachusetts, New Jersey, New
All cold
York,
places.
Oregon, Rhode
Oh,
Island, Vermont, the state of Washington, and then the District of Columbia, D.C. If you live in one of those 11 spots, your state and your district does not have to deal with this if they choose not to, but they are, but they don't have to. What about all these other states down here in the Midwest? What about all those states? Why are they having to deal with it? How did you become the 11, the chosen 11? How did you become that?
yeah.
I don't get that, Joy. I really don't.
I don't either. That doesn't really make sense. And that obviously they don't go by it because they're shipping people to some of these states.
Exactly. And if you can
So
do that for
why would your
11,
state willingly do that? You know,
if you can do that for 11, why you couldn't do that for all
for
50?
all 50?
And I guess if you can go to the, as it talks about the Constitution, Article, what is that? Article 6, Clause 2, and the 10th Amendment. People, it pays for you to understand who you're voting for other than the president. There's a lot that you're giving away. There's a lot that you're aligned to happen by not understanding who you're actually voting for. Your city council, all the way down to your mayor and your police chief. Understand who you're voting for, and quit just narrowing in on the one that they say is the one in charge. The one in charge is you and I, but you're giving that away by not paying attention as to who you're letting sit in these seats in your district, calling shots with your money. That's something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. That's something to really, truly think about. Joy. Also, we talked about Chicago. Also, there's one where up in New York, I mean, is it New York? Yeah, New York. Mayor Eric Adams. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to just, because me and Joy kind of spilled the beans when we talked about, letting people come and stay with us and what we get paid. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all listen to this.
Dan, yes, a creative solution, also a hypothetical right now, because if New Yorkers are willing to house asylum seekers, they could earn up to $125 a night. That would be money paid for by the city. This as thousands of migrants continue arriving here in the city every week.
The closer we bring the asylum seekers and the migrants to everyday New Yorkers, the easier it will be for them to transition into society.
Each week, thousands of single adults and families arrive here on buses from border states, and finding housing for everyone has become increasingly.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause that right there, because if you look on your screen, it tells you what the asylum seeker is. What is an asylum seeker? It tells you right there on the screen what they actually are. And as we go further on, it's going to get blowed up just a little bit bigger so you can read it if you can't see it there.
Difficult. So Mayor Eric Adams is floating an idea, asking private homeowners to share their space. Those will.
And there it is there. It says asylum seeker is a person who leaves their country of residence, enters another country, and applies for asylum in the other country. As asylum seeker is an immigrant who is making claim to have been forcibly displaced and might have fled their home country because of, excuse me, y'all, if it sounds like don't know how to read them. These words are kind of small to myself. Because of war or other facts harming them and their families. If their case is accepted, they become considered a refugee. The terms asylum seeker, refugee, and illegal immigrant are often confused. Now, earlier I said, in reference to the number of people here and where they come from, Venezuela, 264,000, Afghanistan, 208,500, Cuba, 194,700, Nicaragua, 165,800, Ukraine, 152,000, Syria, 147,600, Colombia, 90,500, Honduras, 79,700, Haiti, non-disclosed. Wow. I digress.
Will be paid by the city.
It's cheaper and it's a good investment for us to go to a family and assist them instead of placing people in large congregate settings or in these emergency hotels.
Technically, short-term rentals of 30 days or less are illegal in New York City. So if this is going to be something less than 30 days, they would have to change the existing law.
We'll say more than 45,000 migrants are currently in the care of the Department of Homeless Services. Now, the price tag for that is $4.3 billion. And as you can imagine, Mayor Adams is now looking at the fact that he may have to, in order to make those payments, have to make some cuts across the city. We're live here in Midtown. Reagan.
Now, when he gave that information out, 4.3 billion, the amount now has drastically increased. The amount now is 12 billion. It has ballooned up to $12 billion to assist the care, to cover the cost for the care of the asylum seekers. And this is going along with the street pickup, food, sheltering. You saw all the tents in one of the videos. Um, um, One thing I want to make notice when the lady said $125 a night, ladies and gentlemen, that's $3,750 a month for someone to house um, a family. That's critical there. Now, let me say this right here. A lot of people say, well, what's going to happen to our democracy? Do you understand what the term democracy means? If not, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just gonna let that go across the screen. And you guys, you read that as it go across the screen as we continue to keep talking. You read that. Just read what democracy actually truly means. Joy, it baffled me as to when he said 4.3 billion, and that was November, December of 2023. Here we are 2 months later on down the line. It's 12 billion. I don't get it.
Me either.
Now, a lot of people want to say, well, LB, it's Biden's fault. And it's America's fault for not letting Trump continue building the wall. We're going to get on that wall. But first, I'm going to state this to you right here about look at that. The southern border of the United States with Mexico is 1,933 miles long, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the tip of South Texas, according to a report by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection as of October 2020. There are 669 miles of primary barrier and 65 miles of secondary barrier along the secondary border. Now, for those, well, I tell you what, I'll just leave that up. I'll leave that up. For those who want to say, well, Trump built the wall. He built a great distance of the wall. You're right and you're wrong. You're right, he did. You're wrong if you believe he built up the amount that was told. And this is what I'm going to show you. This was on, a lot of times, Joey, I like to show where I get my information from. And this right here is from Bing.com. You can just Google, did President Trump build a wall? Bing, first one jumps up and tell you, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And this right here is what Bing says. Excuse my quotation mark that says, please watch what you read. As of the 6th October 2021, the southern border has 669 miles primary border and 65 miles of secondary barrier. The Trump administration completed more than 400 miles of the border wall, which is 452 miles, 727 kilometers in total, according to the United States Customs Border Protection, CBP, information as of January 2021. The Trump administration built 52 miles of new primary border. Joy, if you buy a house that was built in 1992 and there's been no upgrades to the house, but you come in and you add a carport to it, you put a patio deck on the back, you put new shingles on top. Did you build that house? You didn't.
Nope.
But if you build,
added.
yeah, all you did is fixed up the structure a little. But if you build another house on that property, you actually built that one. But the beginning property, you did not build. And that's where it stated they built only 52 miles.
Not 400.
Not 400. The 400 was just repair work. Give them kudos for the repair work. Mm-hmm. But people quit lying and saying that this man built over 600 something or 400 something miles of
so
wall.
Much misinformation.
He only built 52 for the 4 years he was there. He campaigned on, I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to build a wall.
Yep.
All he built steps and portion of a patio deck. Where's the house? Where's the plumbing? Where's the electrical? None. He didn't build enough. Actually, he just for 52 miles. That's just bringing the brick and mortar there. In reference to building a house, ladies and gentlemen, you just brung it there, you set it down, and you dropped it. So was it going to take 4 more years for this gentleman to build the actual? How many miles we said?
400.
1,933 miles long.
Jeez.
Do the calculation of, oh Lord. See, y'all playing with me. You playing with me. 1,933 minus 52 miles. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can see my calculator, and I got my American stick on there, that's 1,881 miles that needs to be done. All right, y'all playing with me. All right, we're going to take that.
And that's why we didn't see no pictures, because Trump is the kind of guy that if he did build a wall and all that he said, there'd be pictures and documentation, because he loves to brag. He loves to brag.
And he would probably still be the president. Because that goes to show that a businessman, quote, quote, did business for America.
Yeah.
I could be a businessman, but I don't have to do business for you, Joy. I can show you all my business, but you don't have to reap and you may not ever reap the repercussions of what my business work does. But I'm a businessman, and you like me. You want to be a part of me. You join forces with me because I'm a businessman. No, you foolish. That's what you are. You foolish. Because if I can't show you no receipts, what good am I to you? Exactly. We promise to pay you here at Urban Voice Media, Joy, but you don't never receive no money. You gonna keep coming back?
What?
Are you gonna keep coming back?
No.
I guess if you do, you're a fool.
Right?
You're a fool.
Fool
if
me
you
once,
do.
shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly. Joy.
Well, you got to understand too. All these guys were buddies before, he became president, and then they just went on this whole campaign to try to shut him down. But I don't know. I feel like that was partly show to just show us that, there's two sides when there really is only one side.
Joy, you said that they were buddies. No, they still are.
They are.
They're still buddies.
That's my point. They were buddies. They didn't stop. They're just giving us a show. Because they want complete and total control.
Now, this graph right here, ladies and gentlemen, is from usafacts.org. I bet, Joy, if you ask the average American, when did all this problem start? They would probably say,
when Biden became president, right?
No, before that.
When Trump was president.
Obama or Bush?
Bush, yeah.
Actually, ladies and gentlemen, this chart right here goes back to 1990.
You probably get all kinds of different answers when you ask people that.
This chart here goes back to 1990. And it says the number of asylum seekers entering the U.S. dropped during the pandemic. But my thing is, ladies and gentlemen, forget when it dropped, forget when it rose. It's been ongoing. And not one politician today has done anything. Look at the chart. You can't say, well, LB, you can't say that. Yes, I can. Look at the chart. Unless the usafacts.org is telling a lie. Look at the chart. What have they done? Now, you can say in the years of...
it looks like it's an all-time high, though, like the last few years. I can't really see the years on there, but it's at an all-time high.
1991. Actually, I seen one chart where they weren't even coming over at all. And the time period where that was, this is really going to tickle your funny bone, was 1965 to 1970. They said, we don't want no part of what's going on in America right now.
Why? What was going on?
Civil rights movement.
Oh, snap.
They didn't want no parts of that.
And you know what? Another topic too, like this stuff they're doing where the government is like the federal are trying to push their way in and like get rid of the fences, and Texas is standing up for itself. I feel like that's just another distraction, but also another way to start civil war. So don't fall for it. Just stand together against the tyranny when it comes. That's
Now,
all. Don't listen to anything you've been taught, anything you've learned. It's like we have to unlearn and figure out with our discernment what's actually true and what isn't. And if you don't have the discernment, you just lost. You just
mhm,
lost you just lost in the
mhm.
dark, you know?
And I agree with you cold-hearted because you had said something to me yesterday in reference to some things you're looking forward to on down the line with you and your family in reference to
Mhm.
education.
Mhm.
And I stand behind you 100% in reference to that because
Mhm.
it has to start at home. You
Mhm.
know, number one, teaching your family common sense. And that's something most do not have is common sense. They
It's
do
not so
not have
common
it.
anymore, is it?
Mm, mm-mm, mm-mm,
They shouldn't even call it common sense. It should
mm-hmm,
be uncommon sense.
mm-hmm. Now this right here is from political
Oh,
facts, I guess you could say .com. And
PolitiFact.
this also backs up what I just stated. You can go there, ladies and gentlemen, read all that you can read. One thing that reason why I put this on the picture, not to um, just nail him in the ground. Biden and his administration has been working to do something about the border, but Trump went. Well, today is Wednesday. Monday, he was telling Congress, "Do not do it," and then he said, blame me for it." He said, "Do not do it." Ladies and gentlemen, if this man was really, really concerned about a wall then, he should be concerned about a wall now. No
Right.
matter who puts the wall up, get something done for the wall or not. Why continually keep waiting? Why? If this was Obama or Biden, I would say the same because I'm not either Democrat or
Me
Republican.
either.
I don't have a title other than my name.
Me too. I
So
do. It's child of God.
that bothers me when any
Or
man says,
American.
"Hey, they're trying to do something." Okay, it's not. It, it ain't gonna fix the problem, or it may not fix the problem cold-heartedly. It may not. But if it will help some, why not try versus doing nothing?
Right.
And that's the problem that I have with Democrats and Republicans. They will go to their side and stick with their side. He said don't do it because everything ain't in it good. Okay? Is there anything in it good? Got to listen to those words. They say everything in it ain't good. So that means there is some good in the bill. So if there's some good in the bill that can help along the border, why not? And then if Trump comes along, just like he's supposed to came along and fix healthcare, did nothing. If he can come along and add to what was done in 2024, if he becomes president, kudos. Thank you, Trump, for continue on the progress of what started, just
Right.
as affordable health care. If anybody can come and get the tweaks and turns out of it, cool. Now, I twist the thumb with a lot of people when I'm talking to them, Joy, because they want to say the affordable health care was the world's worst thing ever happened. Well, it's still here. So it ain't worse. If it wasn't good, it would be over with. It'll be done
It's
for
still
if it was
here
so
for
good.
sure.
It's still here. They
Hmm.
say, well, I couldn't get it. How hard did you try? Did you really want to get it? They can't answer those questions.
Yeah.
But no
What I don't
president
like is
yet.
that we were forced to have insurance. Like, I don't really go
You're
see
forced to have a
doctors
driver's
anymore.
license.
Yeah. But there's a lot
You're
of
forced
things
to
we're
pay
forced.
bills. You're forced to
Yeah.
pay taxes.
There's a lot of things we're forced to do that I don't think we should be forced to do.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, you're forced
like
on a lot,
like for
and that's what.
instance, why do we like even if you pay off your home, you still got to pay taxes to live in it?
Do you know why?
What? Because
I might get in trouble saying this.
that's all right. Say it.
Uh, it's called something called adoptal title. What that means is there's land here, and I'm going to give quotations Amish. There's land here that has been paid off to England. and it's called an adulteral title. You have to do a lot of research. Once you
You have to
research,
send that and put that in the chat because I don't know how to like spell that.
okay.
But I've heard of this. There's a certain title you can get where they can't take your land, right?
Well, you have to research to see if that land's been paid off. If that land's been paid off, all you have to do is provide documentation to your town, city, state that hey, this has been paid off, and you don't have to pay taxes to England no more because portions of our money still go to England. Hello. There was just talk this morning. I was watching the news, and I'm gonna tell which one. And they was talking to the president of the UK bank over there, and they asked her, was she afraid if Trump become United president again? She said yes, because of the tariffs that he puts up. It hurted their democracy there. And what she's saying is she's preparing the UK now to whether if he does or doesn't, that if he does put up these strict tariffs, it won't tear them down. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if we would do our due diligence and find whether or not our property that we're sitting on has that type of title, it will hurt them because more and more of our money won't keep going over there. That's why the Amish, you think about it, their roads are not paved by the state because they go grab that land. That's why I say this, I might get in trouble, and this episode right here might get removed. But hey, it's out there for those who can get it right quick.
Yeah. You have to send me some info on that because I'm looking for land. I'm looking for a house right now. If I can buy land cheap enough, maybe build my own house.
Well, see, that's the kicker, Joy. There's a lot of things that we don't know that we need to start sharing and making public that helps us. And I'll be honest with you, some people
My
that
people
work for the
perish for
courthouse,
lack of knowledge, right?
That's like
Because my
school
people
teachers.
perish for knowledge.
School teachers don't know no more than what they've only knew and what they've been taught. They don't have time to keep doing research.
Yep.
So,
for sure.
And that was going back on in reference to the Biden thing and the plan they had. Well, of course, Congress striked it down yesterday. Nobody can cry.
Which plan?
For the next.
Which plan?
The border plan. They had a plan to do something in reference to the immigration problem, and Congress said no. And what they're waiting to see whether or not President Trump become president. If he does, then they'll go forward with it. Sounds stupid to me, logical to most. And when I say logical to most of those in Congress, it's logic to them to not do it. Stupid to me. Once again, I say it, ladies and gentlemen. Agree for the plan, approve it. If Trump comes in office, let him build on it. Just like Joy, you're building a house, you become short on the money. You now say, yo, LB, I'll let you assume this construction I'm doing along with the loan I got. I can't go no further with it and everything. If I got the money to go forward with your construction, I'll do it. Why would I tear it down? It's going to be a nice construction.
Right.
Is there going to be things in that construction I may not like? Yeah. Because it's going to be mine now, not yours. I may not want one of them toilets that wash your booty when you flush the toilet. I might not want that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
For some, a bidet is great. For me, it ain't. I don't like that. You may want this big old tub. I'd rather get it in there, hit it and quit it and get on out, So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to stop being dumb, stupid, ignorant. Use the noodle that you have and think more than just the guy that you like or the girl that you like. Come on. That's the way I feel. I mean, do your husband, Joy, does he agree with everything you like or want to do?
No.
And that makes,
most of it, though.
And Joy, that makes you and him a better person. Because if you agree with everything that you agree with, I mean, you're not learning. He's not learning.
Nope. Yeah, don't get me started on how they called the voice from the moon with a rotary dial phone.
Say that again.
I said, don't get me started on how they somehow called the White House from the moon, called a rotary dial phone from the moon. Y'all see that? Hello?
I'm like, dang, do we even have a rotary dial anymore?
That's what I'm saying. When they landed on the moon in the 60s, we have much better technology. How come no one's ever gone back there? Oh, he said, we lost that technology and it's too painful of a process to recreate it. Why would you recreate it? Wouldn't it be better? You guys can't go nowhere. There's a firmament. I saw. Have you seen that video on when Elon literally admitted that he tried to break through it and he can't and it's impossible? He said it's
No, no.
impossible. I'll find it for you. Look it up. Just look on TikTok. Look up Elon Musk and I think he was on Joe Rogan or something. He
You know
literally
what,
said
Joy?
he bust through it and he can't. And whenever you see rockets, what do? They go like this.
It's funny you say that because Elon Musk has been doing a lot in reference to the immigration problem. He's been there.
Really?
It was
I didn't realize he was
Eagle
part of
something.
that.
It's Eagle something there in Texas. I can't remember the name of the city there. Eagle's Nest or something. He's
Oh
been there
yeah.
a lot, and he's been exposing a
Really?
lot in reference to he's been
I
exposing a lot.
just cannot figure him out yet. A lot of Christians think he's like the false prophet, right? Like we think he has something to do with the scenario, but that's what people think. He on the outside, like with X and with those things, look like he's doing right, but then you see him dressed up in a Baphomet costume. You know what I'm saying? With like upside down crosses and devil horns, and you're like, bro, a double-minded man is unstable in on all his ways, the Bible says. So I'm just interested to see how this is all going to play out over the next few years, because I do feel like things are about to just go down. But it could be a few years. I guess we'll
Elon
see.
is one of those. He has a big ego. Meaning you can't tell me what I can
I
do
can think of
because
someone else who has a
I'm
big
that
ego
rich.
too.
Yeah, he has a super big ego, and
Hmm.
I mean, he hasn't done any harm to anyone. You know,
Hmm.
you
Well, we
know.
don't
He,
know that,
well, yeah, true. The women haven't came out
not
yet.
that
Let's
we
put it
know
that way.
about.
Yeah,
Not that we
the
know
women or
about.
the
He
men
wasn't
or
on
the
Epstein's
children.
list, was he?
So yeah, that hadn't surfaced yet. So we have to wait. You know how they do? They wait till you get ready to do something big, and then they want to try to destroy you. But
Of course.
the immigration thing, ladies and gentlemen, that's something serious that we really, really need to really. I'm all for people wanting something better, but I'm also
Me
for if
too.
America let them earn theirs the same way I had to
We
earn
have to
my
earn
first
ours,
credit card.
because what they're doing is they're getting benefits. They're getting our Social Security, our 401ks. Like, this is what we worked our whole lives for, and y'all just gonna walk in and take it? That's criminal, bro. That's criminal.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, $12 billion, New York alone. So you want to question whether Joy know what she's talking about? Yeah, that's just New York, 12 billion, and that come
Where's the
from
money
Mayor Eric Adams'
from?
mouth.
And I have this saying that I heard that I've repeated many times. We making more money than we ever have, and we're somehow broker than we've ever been. Make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's things
I,
like this. We're giving the money to Ukraine. We're giving money. Now we're bombing Yemen. Like, all this money begin. And how are you going to drop literal weapons in another country that hates us, like, so they can attack us with it? That's a smart plan. It's just so much going on at once. Man, I just feel bad for people who don't have Jesus, because this world is crazy. This world is crazy.
you said make it make sense, Joy. I can make it make sense. Just
Okay.
last year, over the last 2 years, where I'm at now, I've been in the home I'm in now for 3 years. No, 2 years. Over the last 2 years, my house insurance has tripled.
Oh my
So
gosh.
finally, I got fed up and I went to my insurance agent. I asked him, why has it gone up 3 times in 2-year period? It had nothing to do with the president. It had nothing to do with
No.
Congress. It had nothing to do with senators. It had nothing to do with my mayor. They said the cost of materials.
Cost of material. Oh yeah. Well, the
Now,
cost of everything is going up.
some will
Is it
say, well,
true
inflation.
inflation, or is it true though inflation, or is it that's
No,
just that our
it's
all
not
money's
that.
being
Well,
given away?
it depends on who's inflating it, because also that's something that the government is cracking down on. I saw that just last week. They're cracking down on big companies gouging Americans. And
Yeah.
there you go. Such as,
Thank God.
the lumber companies gouging because they can, and no one's putting a stop to them. So that right there has nothing to do with your government. It has something
But
to do
what does
with
your insurance
American
have to
greed.
do with materials? What does insurance have to do with materials? It's not like you're building your house; it's already built.
I asked that question, and they said if my house was to burn down, electrical something go on, then it would cost more money to come in and fix it
Oh, that makes
than the
sense.
cost.
Okay.
Yeah, for that reason. I'm like, I get your point, but until I use it, should it go up?
Yeah.
I mean,
Why should
why
it
does
go
it have
up?
to go up?
Because
And I'm
it
not.
might happen.
Y'all never heard from me, so why is it going up? And that was the reason. They said for the cost of material, whether it's wiring, lumber, plumbing, either one of those items. And I'm like, okay, okay. But there was
Right.
nothing I can do. There was nothing I could do. And
Can you get a different insurance company?
well, I tried because one insurance company that I have, had I not used them to get new shingles put on the house, uh, which would had I not made a claim, then I could have took my insurance from this insurance company to that one, and that would have lowered it. But now I got to wait 5 years for that claim to come off before I can combine both entities.
What the heck?
Exactly. Make it make sense. You said it very well.
Uh-huh. It
Well, Joy,
never will.
I hope. Tell people where they can find you, Joy.
Yeah, it's all everywhere you can find me. Come on, puppy. Sorry, I'm feeding my doggies. They're kind of hungry right now.
I understand that.
Yeah.
There it is. You can get
Yep,
her
you
on
can find me.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok's where I do lives and sing and play drums and do worship and all that stuff. And then yeah, I go on to Facebook here and there, and I really don't do Instagram much at all. I mean, I have all those platforms, but I'm not on there that much. Sometimes when I post on Facebook, or post on TikTok, I'll post it to Facebook and stuff like that. But yeah, you have to send me LBL where I can find you too. I don't have you on any of those platforms, I don't think, except for I just have you. I'm just subscribed to your YouTube, I think.
There you go. You have it there, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining Hot Topics. Joy, we'll welcome you back in the hot seat. If you'd like to come back to the hot seat and sit down and cover another topic with us, there's going to be lots and lots more topics. I'm sure that we can put smiles on Americans' faces and enlighten them. The whole thing of it is really with Hot Topics, ladies and gentlemen, is just to educate you, to give you something that you did not know, and also give you resources as to where you can go and validate what we're stating. That's the
Yeah.
main thing, because a lot of times you're hearing things and you're not, you're just going with it. Okay, because he said it, because she said it, it's valid. Do a
Right.
little bit of research, ladies and gentlemen. It don't take a lot. We got these smartphones for a reason.
Yep.
Use them, but be careful. There's one thing you had said, Joey. Be careful as to where you're getting your source of information from.
Well, you have to look at the origin of the company, right? A lot of times, if it says org, like where you were getting your information, that's an organization. They're a nonprofit. But when you're looking at sources like CNN, ABC, NBC, who owns those entities?
Mm-hmm.
Who owns everything?
Mm-hmm.
The same people that own all those also own, probably grocery store chain, all of it's like connected,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's a very small group of people that actually run this country, and they all just think we're ants, I guess, that that need to be eliminated. But they know that we're so much bigger than they are. And if people would just wake up, literally just knowing the truth is all it takes for you to not comply. It's like the whole thing that happened with the pandemic, dude. A mandate is not a law. In fact, if you look up all you have to do is a little research and look up what you're saying is so true. Look up what mandate means. I mean, if you don't follow it, it cannot be enforced. Mm-hmm. So are they making you do it, or are you just complying because they fear-mongered you? When you can tell people who follow the world from people who follow God, because no matter what the turmoil is going, we still have peace. But if you follow in the world, it's in turmoil. That's all you can see. You're not going to have peace. That's for sure.
Joy said it best, you guys. Until next time, world, y'all stay tuned. Urban Voice Media, Hot Topics.
Thanks for having me.